Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à Learn French by Suchita. Je m'appelle Suchita, votre enseignante de la langue française, et dans cette vidéo, on va apprendre comment vous pouvez vous présenter. That means in this video, we are going to learn how do you introduce yourself in French, and today's video is specially for my beginners. Before we begin with this video, I would like to introduce you to my website www.learnfrenchbysuchita.com, where you will find recorded courses for all your French language needs. We have courses for DELF A1, DELF A2, DELF B1, TEF TCF recorded course, French phonetics as well. We have special courses for our school students ranging from grade 5 to grade 8. We also have courses for university students who are enrolled in certificate course or diploma course in Delhi University. And finally, we also have courses for our school students who are aiming to appear for their DELF Prim or DELF Junior examinations. So hurry up and check it out. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. And as I already told you, in today's video, I am going to teach you the structure of 8 sentences, after which you will be able to introduce yourself. I received a number of requests in the comment section stating that you need to learn how do you introduce yourself in French, how do you write a short paragraph introducing yourself in French. So here I am there with the video, but before I start with the video, please do not forget to hit the like button to this video in case you like the video. Believe me guys, it takes really a lot of efforts to come up with new content each time. So in case you like this video, please do not forget to hit the like button and mention your comments in the comment section below. And let's just get started. Today's video is especially for my beginners. Let's just start. So the first sentence that you will write in your introduction is your name, le nom. How do you introduce yourself? The first thing that you will say is your name. Now for saying your name, you use the structure je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. Now what is this m'appelle? This is actually a verb. Now this verb is the verb s'appeler. S'appeler. Now s'appeler, which means to call oneself. Now of course that's an ER verb, but this is actually a pronominal verb. Now what exactly are the pronominal verbs? If you do not know what are pronominal verbs, all the pronominal verbs, they begin with s or s apostrophe basically. But in case you do not know what are pronominal verbs, I'm going to mention the link in the card above. You can watch that video and then come back here again. Alright, so coming back to the point, the verb is s'appeler, it's the pronominal verb. In case you do not know, for the moment you can just learn it. Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle followed by your name. Like in my case, I would say je m'appelle Suchita. Je m'appelle Suchita. So the meaning is not, the literal meaning is not my name is Suchita. The literal meaning would be I call myself, because s'appeler, which means to call oneself. So I call myself. I call myself Suchita. Je m'appelle Suchita. Now the second structure can be moi c'est Suchita. You can, in the blank you can add your name. You need to add your name. Me, that's Suchita. So the first thing that you will write in your introduction is your name, and for your name, although there are many more structures which are possible, but in today's video I am going to teach you the 2 structures. The first is je m'appelle, so you can say je m'appelle Suchita. I mean you will say your name, so je m'appelle or you can say moi c'est je m'appelle Suchita or moi c'est Suchita. C'est, which means this is. Now this is actually the verb être. And the second structure is moi c'est, which means me, that's followed by your name. So je m'appelle Suchita, or I can say moi c'est Suchita. Now the second sentence that you can write in your introduction is that you will tell your age. L'âge, which means the age. Now for telling the age, you principally should know the verb avoir first, because when you tell your age or when you ask also someone's age, you always use the verb avoir, right? Now avoir, which means to have. Now if you compare it to English, in English I say I am, like I am 30 years old, or I'm 25 years old, or I'm 20 years old, whatever you want to say, you say the verb I am, you use I am. Now if you literally translate I am in French is the verb être, I am, right? But in French, irrespective of whatever the meaning is in English is, you have to use the verb avoir and not the verb être. In case you do not know what exactly are the verbs avoir and être, I'm going to mention the link in the card above as well, and I'm going to mention the links of all these videos in the description box as well. So you can watch those videos and then come back here again. Now, the point being, for telling the age, you always use the verb avoir. Now, the structure that I have is j'ai. J'ai. Now, je, which means I, and then a, it's the conjugation of the verb avoir. So literally j'ai means I have, but you don't have to look the meaning in English. So in French, whenever you have to tell the age, you always use the verb avoir. So you say j'ai followed by your age, whatever your age is. You can write it in letters also, or else you can write it in numbers also. That's your choice, like the way you do in English. You can write it in letters also or in figures also. So j'ai 30 ans, ans which means years. So j'ai 30 ans, which means I am 30 years old. J'ai 30 ans. If you do not know the numbers also, how do you say 1, 2, 3, 4 in French? I'm going to mention the link of the numbers video as well in the description box below. You can check that video. J'ai 30 ans. So the first was, how do you tell your name? Je m'appelle, moi c'est. We learned two structures for that. And the second one is âge. How do you say the age? For that you use the verb avoir and you say j'ai un. For the moment, in case you do not know the verb avoir also and the concept of the verb être or avoir, you can just learn it as a structure. J'ai 30 ans. Or else, let's say if you want to say I'm 25 years old, you'll say j'ai 25 ans. 25. You simply need to remove this by your age, right? So I have written j'ai 30 ans. I am 30 years old. Now, the third sentence in your introduction is where do you live? Vous habitez où? Vous, which means you, habiter, which means to live, où, which means where. So you live where? Where do you live? So now in the third sentence you will tell where exactly do you live. So the verb is habiter. Habiter. Now in case you do not know what exactly are the ER verbs, because the verb habiter is an ER verb. Alright, which means to live. In case you do not know what exactly are the ER verbs, I'm going to mention the link in the card above. You can watch that video and then come back here again, and you will find the same link in the description box below as well. Now, the verb habiter, which means to live. Now, the structure that goes is j'habite à. J'habite à, followed by the name of any city. You can say I live in. So, je, which means I. Habite, I've conjugated the verb habiter as per je, so it becomes j'habite, I live. À, in. So j'habite à. You can mention any city. J'habite à Paris, j'habite à Londres, j'habite à Tokyo. So you can mention any city. Let's say Paris, New York, Londres. Londres, which means London. Any city, whatever you want to say, wherever you live, you can mention the name of that city over here. So j'habite à, I live in. So I can say j'habite à Delhi, I live in Delhi. So the first was you need to write your name. The second one was how do you mention your age, and the third one is where do you live. For that you use the structure j'habite à. Now the fourth line that you will write in your introduction is you will tell your nationality, la nationalité. Nationality, which means the nationality. Now for that you should know the verb être. The verb être. Again I am going to mention the link in the description box below for the verb être in case you do not know what is the verb être and how do you conjugate it. So now the basic structure being je suis. Je suis. Now je, which means I. Je, which means I, and suis is the conjugation of the verb être. Now je suis, which means I am. Now you should know this structure, je suis, followed by whatever your nationality is. In case you do not know how do you say I am Indian or Canadian or Australian or any nationality, let's say American, I have taught that in one of the videos which I uploaded previously. I'm going to mention the link of that video also in the description box below. Now here, je suis indien, je suis indien. Now here I have written two, right? Why? Because je can be masculine, je can be feminine. Like for example, if I am saying that I am Indian, I am Indian. In my case, I, that means I am feminine and I am singular. So I am going to write the feminine nationality.
In case, let's say a male is writing his introduction, in that case he will use the masculine nationality, right? Because in that case je would be masculine singular. So je suis indien or je suis indienne, which means I am Indian, I am Indian. Both of them means I am Indian, but depends who is saying. If a male is saying I am Indian, he'll say je suis indien. And if a female is saying I am Indian, she will say je suis indienne. Je répète, je suis indien, je suis indienne, je suis indien, je suis indienne. Alright, so you can replace it with any nationality, whatever. Let's say if you want to say I'm Canadian, you'll say je suis Canadien, Canadien. And in the feminine one, you'll say je suis Canadienne. Now, so I've taught a lot of nationalities in that video. You can check that video. Je suis Canadien, je suis Canadienne, je suis Indien, je suis Indienne. So the fourth sentence in your introduction would be how do you write your nationality, and for that you have to use the verb être. Now the fifth sentence that you will write in your self-introduction is l'état civil. L'état civil, which means you will tell your marital status, you will tell your relationship status. Alright, for that as well you will use the verb être, which I just told you in the previous slide. Now the structure will be same, je suis, which means I am, right? Now here you can have various marital status. You can be single, you can be married, you can be divorced, you can be widow, you can be in relationship. There can be various relationship status, but here I have written 4 in front of you, alright? Just to give you the example. Now the first one being célibataire. Célibataire, célibataire, which means single or bachelor. Alright, so let's say if you're single, you'll say je suis célibataire. Je suis célibataire. Now a male would also say célibataire and the female would also say célibataire. Why? Because in this case it's already ending with E, right? So you do not need to make it feminine. So now je suis célibataire, which means I am single or I am bachelor. In case you're married, you'll say je suis marié. Marié. Je suis marié. Now here I've written 2 things, right? This one, the first one is for the males. And if a female would write her introduction, in that case she has to add another E. So in that case, let's say if a male is writing I am married, he will write je suis marié. Je suis marié. And if a female would write the same thing, she'll say je suis marié with another E. But the pronunciation of both of them is same. This is also je suis marié, je suis marié. I am married. In case you are divorced, in that case you will say je suis divorcé. Je suis divorcé. Again the same thing. In case you are masculine, you'll write this. In case you are feminine, you'll write it with another E, like I've written in here, over here. Here I've written in between the brackets just to show that this E might be there, might not be there, depending upon who is speaking. It can be masculine or it can be feminine. So if you're male, you'll write it like this. In case you're feminine, you'll write with another E like this. Alright? So je suis célibataire, I'm single. Je suis marié ou je suis mariée, masculine, feminine, I am married. In case you're divorced, you'll say je suis divorcé. Je suis divorcé with E or without E, whatever. The next is je suis veuf. Veuf or feminine would be je suis veuve. Widower or widow. Right? So je suis veuf. This is masculine. Let's say if a male is saying that I'm widower, he'll say je suis veuf. And if a female is saying that I am widow, she'll say je suis veuve, right? So je suis célibataire, je suis mariée, je suis divorcée, and the last one being veuf, je suis veuf, ou féminin, je suis veuve. Alright, now these are few relationship status that I have mentioned over here. For telling your relationship status, you need to know what exactly is the verb être, and the structure is je suis followed by whatever your relationship status is. Now the sixth sentence that you will write in your self-introduction is la profession, the profession. Alright, so you'll tell your profession. Again, the verb which will come over here is the verb être. Être, which means to be. which we were doing in how do you tell your relationship status or how do you tell your nationality, the same verb, the same structure will be followed here also. Je suis, followed by whatever your profession is. So I am. Now you will write your profession, like are you a professor or are you a baker or dancer or actor. There can be many more professions possible. For the list of professions, I had already uploaded the video. I'm going to mention the link in the card above, and I'm also going to mention the link in the description box below. You can check that video. Now, for this, you can say je suis professeur, professeur, I'm professor. Je suis boulanger, boulanger. Feminine would be boulangère. Let's say if a male is saying that I'm baker, he'll say je suis boulanger. And if a female would say that I'm baker, she'll say je suis boulangère. Now the next one is je suis danseur, danseur, which means I'm dancer. This is masculine. And if a female would say that I'm dancer, she'll say je suis danseuse, danseur, danseuse. The next one is je suis acteur, 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 which means actor. Okay, the feminine is actrice, actrice. So je suis acteur ou je suis actrice. These are just few examples. Okay, you can add whatever profession you have. So je suis followed by your profession. Here I did not write the feminine version because professor is same in masculine and in feminine. Alright, so je suis professeur, je suis boulanger, je suis danseur, je suis acteur, ou je suis boulangère, je suis danseuse, je suis actrice, whatever you want to write, but take care of the masculine and the feminine profession. If you are male, you'll write the masculine profession. If you are feminine, you will write the feminine profession. So je suis followed by your profession. Now the seventh sentence that you will write in your introduction is vous venez d'où? Vous venez d'où? Venez is actually the verb venir, which means to come. Where do you come from? So you have to actually tell where do you come from. So je viens de. Je viens de. Viens, it's actually the verb venir. In any case, if you do not know the conjugation of the verb venir, you just learn it as a structure. Je viens de. Je meaning I. Viens, it's the conjugation of the verb venir, which means to come. So je viens de. I come from. Mention the name of the country, right? So now je viens d'Inde, which means I come from India. Now whatever country you come from, let's say if you come from France, you say je viens de France. In case you come from Canada, you'll say je viens du Canada. Now where do you come from, which actually means that what is your country of origin? What is your origin country, right? So I come from India, I come from France, I come from Canada. For that you use the structure je viens de. Je viens d'Inde, je viens de France, je viens du Canada, je viens du Portugal. Portugal, which means Portugal. All these countries also I have taught in the video wherein I taught the countries and the nationalities, the link of which I have mentioned in the description box below. Alright, so je viens d'Inde, just learn the structure je viens de, followed by your country. Now the last sentence being, what you will write in your introduction is qu'est-ce que vous aimez? Qu'est-ce que vous aimez? Which means what do you like? Qu'est-ce que vous aimez? Now here, aimer. Aimer is actually the verb er. It's actually the verb er, aimer, which means to like. I'm going to mention the link of the er verbs as well in the description box below. Now, the structure being j'aime. J'aime. Je, which means I. So j'aime, which means I like. Now here I have left a blank. You can write any verb into that. I like to sing, I like to dance, I like to read, I like to listen to the music, right? So you have to remember basically this structure, j'aime, and that here you will write the verb, okay? But whatever verb you are going to write, you are not going to conjugate that. Why? There is a rule in French, if there are two verbs or more than two verbs which come together, what do? You just conjugate the first verb. The next verb will come in its infinitive form. You do not have to conjugate that, right? So all these are the verbs which are written in the infinitive form. So now the examples, like for example, j'aime chanter. J'aime chanter, which means I like to sing. You can say j'aime danser, I like to dance. J'aime lire, which means to read. Write any verb, but you don't have to conjugate the verb. J'aime chanter, j'aime danser, j'aime lire. And the last one being j'aime écouter. J'aime écouter de la musique, which means I like to listen to the music. So you need to learn the pattern j'aime and followed by any verb, whatever you like to do. J'aime chanter, j'aime danser, j'aime lire, j'aime écouter de la musique, anything, whatever you like. So j'aime followed by the verb which you have to write in the infinitive form. Now here I've taught you 8 structures, as in how do you introduce yourself. So I would really like that you mention your comments in the comment section below, wherein you will write your introduction using the 8 structures which I have taught you in this video. And that's it for this video. In case you like this video, please do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel and mention your comments in the comment section below. And I'll see you soon with the next video. Till then, au revoir, à bientôt et bisous bisous.